thoughts, opinions, and general overall shade thrown on High at 9 News are those of the individual speakers and not those of High at 9 News, its audience, or its advertisers. The statements made do not constitute medical, legal, or financial advice, and for advice tailored to your specific situation, please consult with a licensed professional. Welcome to the High at 9 News Hour, where you will hear from cannabis industry experts and professionals from around the country talk about important topics while shining light on global issues and discussing cannabis as it relates to politics, regulation and reform, data and technology, science, research and medicine, family and parenting, art, celebrities and entertainment, fitness, sports, mental health and wellness, and plant-based medicines and entheogenics. Together, we are building a stronger community, fighting the stigma and creating change. With your hosts, Jason Beck and Rico Lamitte, joined by special industry expert correspondents from around the country, and daily antics brought to you by Cannabis. Coming to you live every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time and high noon on the East Coast. And thank you all for getting high at 9 with us.
They're not small cats.
Oh, yeah, you guys. That's right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It is Monday, the most important day of the week, you guys. And that's right. It is Monday, May 27th, and today is National Grape Day. National Grape Popsicle Day, Rico.
Not just grapes, but grape popsicles.
That's right. Okay. Not just grapes, but also grape popsicles. It's also National Cellophane Tape Day. Must have a big lobby for cellophane tape.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's right. And you guys, of course, it is also Memorial Day. Can we get some? There we go. Thank you, Adam. Thank you. Thank you to all the service, all you veterans out there. We appreciate you all so much.
Sacrifice.
Yes. And thank you all for joining us and getting high at 9 with us. It's also high noon on the East Coast. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to us on all social media platforms. You can look up above on your screen to see exactly where we live on the internet. And we are live every Monday through Friday on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and on our very own website at www.highat9news.com. So kicking it off today, that's right, kicking it off, it is the dope dad himself, Mr. Rico Lamitte, who we were able to go and have some barbecue last night.
Birthday boy.
Yes, at the Dabacue. Yes, that's right. It is Mr. Barbecue himself, Mr. Rico Lamitte.
Yeah, thank you, Jason.
Yes.
It was a grand evening last night. Shout out to everybody we saw over at the Beehive.
Yeah.
And everybody give a warm, belated birthday blessing to our head honcho, Jason Beck.
Oh, yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank you all so
Yes,
much.
indeed.
Yes.
Just in time for your birthday, Jason. I have a story involving your favorite New York Attorney General Letitia James.
Oh, man. Here we go.
Yes, New York Attorney General Letitia James announced Thursday that the owner of a chain of unlicensed New York cannabis dispensaries with locations in Auburn and Aurelius has been fined $15.2 million by the state. According to David Tully, from The Citizen, David Wilcox from The Citizen, David Tully, who operated I'm Stuck. It's the name of it's the DBA right there. I'm Stuck at 9 East Genesee Street in Auburn, and the Weed Warehouse, not really too inconspicuous there with the names, in Aurelius. He has been ordered to pay $7 million in disgorgement, profits that he made from unlicensed sales of cannabis, including some to underage customers, and $8.2 million in penalties for operating the dispensaries while ignoring cease and desist notices from the state. David Tully illegally sold cannabis in multiple stores across upstate and central New York and sold unregulated products to underage customers, Letitia James said. These illegal and unlicensed stores are butting up through the state and hurting our communities. Sick with the word games right there, I tell you what. Today, David Tully is paying the $15 million price for his repeated illegal activity and will be permanently banned from the cannabis industry in New York. This punishment should serve as a clear warning for all unlicensed cannabis stores in the state. We will enforce the law and shut down your operations. Tully was fined $10,000 a day for 389 days of unlicensed cannabis sales and $20,000 a day for 217 days of unlicensed sales after receiving a notice from the State Office of Cannabis Management. The $7 million in disgorgement represents 90% of his profits from unlicensed cannabis sales between February 11th, 2022 and May 2nd, 2023, the office said. He also faces a $5,000 penalty for removing a violation notice from his location in the town of Lyons and must cover $1.3 million in costs incurred by the state attorney general's office. Along with his locations in Auburn and Aurelius, Tully operated 6 additional I'm Stuck locations in Wayne, Oswego, and Monroe counties. The Auburn and Aurelius locations, which respectively opened in January 2023 and sometime between the previous year, were raided by authorities in June 2023 and padlocked this August. The state's action followed visits by undercover investigators attempting to purchase cannabis at Tully's businesses. According to court records obtained by the citizen investigator Andrea Butenstein, an underage person posing as her daughter visited the Cayuga County locations of I'm Stuck back in May 2023, and the daughter asked for products and told the employees she did not have ID, but products were sold to her anyways. One employee noted that they're supposed to check ID, but said nothing further. And another told the daughter, you're all right. Tully told the citizen Thursday he will appeal the fine. But that wasn't the end of it. Tully also said that he plans to run for governor. And if elected, he would create.
Here we go.
He would create transitional cannabis licenses for gray market businesses just like his. Tully claimed that I'm Stuck sold consultations, technically making his products gifts, not weed. Its locations were the first gray market dispensary shut down by the state as it launches its legal cannabis market. Well, I'm sure a wise wino somewhere said at one time that if you don't like the laws the way they're written, run for office. Quit whining and become he who writes the law. I don't know how this thing will shake out, and I'm pretty sure old boy ain't got the $15 million to pay the state for all these repeat offenses and all these locations. So I'm guessing he's on that what would Trump do phase of his problem-solving process, and here we are. I'm Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for High at 9 News. Happy Memorial Day. What do y'all have to make of this guy? True American hero.
This guy.
Man, of course he's in New York, and of course Letitia James is going after him. And I'll tell you what, I think Trump should fund his campaign. I think that would be the perfect way for this to roll out, since he said he's going to run for governor. If Trump would fund his campaign, that would be the move, because Letitia James is vehemently going after this guy, just like she's vehemently going after Trump.
Vehemently? Mm-hmm. I like that word.
Yes.
It's a new one, Jason.
Yes.
Vehemently.
Yeah.
Jamie, what's happening? What do you have to say about this story? This guy, he's gonna beat Kathy Hochul out. What's going on?
We have a guy like him in Montana here who is a notorious slumlord, and he gets, one of his tenants fell through her shower because the floor was rotten, and literally took a shower and fell through the floor, and he was constantly being brought up on, slumlord housing charges. So he ran for justice of the peace, because that's the job that was always coming down on him, and it just reminds me of that.
Oh yeah, that's how you have incremental change right there, Jamie.
That's the move.
That's right.
That's
right. If you don't like how things are operating in for office, then you should run for that office.
Exactly.
Yeah, the biggest offenders make the best law enforcement, right,
mm-hmm.
Jason? Yeah.
Look at what's his name? George. What's his name?
Donald Trump?
No, George. The guy that got kicked out of Congress. No, the guy that got kicked out of Congress.
Oh, Santos.
Yeah, George Santos. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
You didn't even know the law.
Yeah.
I don't know. He called it the weed warehouse and thought he was going to get away with it. It's hilarious.
What I'm curious to know is, this guy sounds extra special. like completely flouting everything. And so they're clearly making an example of him. But I bet there are others, there's a lot of others. So it's interesting when they have to pick and choose what they're going to enforce, how they pick and choose. I'd be curious to have been a fly on the wall when they decided he was the guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's 10 plus franchise locations across the state. Different
franchise. I mean,
and one of them is called Weed Warehouse.
That's what. Yeah.
Jesus.
Come on.
Hey, I'm just saying, I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad at this at all.
Oh, okay. Germain, St. Germain, what do you think about this, man? Is this guy gonna be? You gonna vote for Traptastic Tully?
I think this dude's in trouble, but I did want to just divert the conversation to say for National Grape Day, I'm smoking a grape backwoods I just found.
There we go.
Happy National Grape every day, everybody.
Just found it in a sock.
Long live the trap in New York and everywhere.
Oh boy, you guys are funny.
Shout out to New York,
Sounds
man.
delightful.
You guys.
Holiday, you guys.
Man, it's a holiday.
I might have to do that.
You're gonna smoke some grape swishers, Jamie.
I might have to roll myself a backwoods.
Yes.
Whoa, you gonna smoke backwards?
Yes. Y'all heard it here first.
Oh
Here
man,
first.
she's getting the ratchet in today on this holiday.
Yeah, well,
Memorial
I had to move
Day.
my tea time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think we'd be on, so I had a tea time. I had to move my tea time, so now I'm good.
Just so you know, Jamie, we operate every single day, every Monday through Friday, regardless of holidays.
Real trap
Love
shit.
it.
Yes, the people need.
Love it.
25-8, you guys.
Yes, yes,
Jamie
yes.
Pearson smokes woods. Y'all heard it here first. She rolls woods.
I mean, she lives in the woods.
That's facts.
See
I
what I'm
like
saying?
the combination of tobacco and cannabis.
You like the smoke
like
crossfade?
It's like a little upper at the same time,
Gives you a nice little
Mm-hmm.
buzz, right?
Yeah, I like it.
Have you ever
cigarette?
smoked cigarettes, Jamie? Were you a cigarette smoker?
Never.
Never? But you like blunts, huh?
I do.
Interesting.
My friend Sean Creedle's the one that got me hooked on those.
Sean,
What up, Sean?
I know Sean. Yeah.
What up, Sean?
Oh man.
I'm thinking about him today because I know he served in the Marines, and
Yes.
this is a day where they're thinking about
Fallen.
having survivor's guilt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%.
Big shout out to all of our veteran friends, family out there.
Without a doubt.
Big shout out to all the fallen soldiers and everything. And make sure you guys support the people. You don't have to support the cause. You don't have to support the reasons why they went out there to fight these wars and everything. But just know that these people were good people. They still are good people. And it's our freedom that we have here on the ground, however much we don't believe we have. There's a lot of people who sacrifice their lives just to be able to talk our shit every single day.
Well said, Rico. Well said. And on that, we're going to go to a commercial. We're going to be right back.
Oh man, that was weird. Hey, you America. Do I look like Sean Connery? Good morning, America. Saman Razani coming to you live from sunny Los Angeles, California with the one and only highest host, Mr. Jason Beck, smoking on the best weed in the world. Did you know that we have an audio-only version of our podcast? You can find it on Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. No excuses in 2024. If you haven't checked us out, check it out now. And also, check out what the Prophet's doing in 2024.
The Miller Amendment in the last few days.
Yep. Yes, we did. We covered that on Friday.
All right, y'all. Up next, it's the man who just turned 36 years old this weekend, and he doesn't look a day over 29. Now that he gets this, you know what I'm saying? He puts that BBL jersey on for the soundtrack.
Oh, you're
and gets
so
to hit
funny.
that treadmill.
You're so
and
funny.
Starts popping. Come to the stage, the birthday boy himself, the High at 9 News head honcho, known for smoking the best weed in the world and the highest Republican in every room that he walks into, Mr. Jason.
Oh, yeah. Good morning, you guys. Happy Memorial Day. Shout out to all our veterans out there. The reality is freedom isn't free, and that's just a fact of reality. And I'll tell you what, who freedom isn't free for too, you guys. Nicki Minaj. That's right, you guys. Nicki Minaj postpones her Manchester show after soft drugs arrest at the Amsterdam airport, you guys. Nicki Minaj says they succeeded at their plan. We needed this to run. We succeeded at their plan to... It's not going anywhere, Adam. Oh, there we go. All right.
Sabotage.
Yeah, there we go. I know. She says that they succeeded at their plan to not let me get on that stage tonight. Rapper says after marijuana pre-rolls in her luggage led to a 6-hour legal ordeal and a monetary fine, Nicki Minaj was forced to postpone her concert Saturday in Manchester, England, after the rapper was detained at an Amsterdam airport for what she claimed was carrying marijuana in her luggage. On Saturday, following a Thursday concert in Amsterdam, Minaj was set to embark to the UK for the Manchester gig when she was stopped by airport security, who she said on social media found pre-roll marijuana in a search of the luggage of the people she was traveling with. Oh, so she's putting it off on them. In a quote, "Keep in mind, they look like my bags. They look through my bags without consent," she wrote on social media. "My security has already advised them that these pre-rolls belong to him." Minaj posted several videos and live streamed some of her interactions with Amsterdam police, including one video where she was detained and placed in a police vehicle. She warned fans that her departure to Manchester was delayed because another group of people have to come here to weigh the pre-rolls, and that she would be questioned by police. The Netherlands military police confirmed to CNN that they had arrested an unnamed 41-year-old American woman at Schiphol Airport on suspicion of exporting soft drugs, and that she had been released. Following a consultation with the public prosecutor's office, the suspect received a monetary fine and is now permitted to continue her journey. A spokesperson for the Royal Netherlands, Maurits, says that Live Nation later confirmed that due to Minaj's ordeal, during which the rapper said she was sitting in a jail cell for 5 to 6 hours, the Manchester show would be postponed. Despite Nicki's best efforts to explore every possible avenue to make tonight's show happen, the events of today have made it possible. Amid the arrest, Minaj claimed on social media that there had been frequent attempts at previous cities to sabotage her tour. "They succeeded at their plan to not let me go on that stage tonight," Minaj wrote following the postponement. "Please, please, please accept my deepest and most sincere apologies. They sure did know exactly how to hurt me today, but this too shall pass," she added. "They've been doing this over and over and over and over and over again, and I've tried so hard to not discuss it because you guys deserve to just get the good stuff. I hate involving you in anything that isn't for entertainment purposes only." A rescheduled date for Saturday's show has not yet been announced. However, Minaj will return to Manchester Thursday night for another previously scheduled gig in the city. And Minaj will perform in Birmingham, England on Sunday night. And in quotes, "We will have another date for tonight's show shortly, and I'll probably be able to share it tomorrow. One July option and one June option is currently being discussed," Minaj wrote. "I'll find a way to not only make up the date with the performance, but I'm going to create an added bonus for everyone that had a ticket for this show. Promise," she says.
She was taking slaves to freedom.
Whoa! Nicki Minaj getting arrested at Schiphol Airport. And man, this has to be, I would say the Schiphol Airport has to probably be the most common airport that people would find cannabis in your bag, seeing as how Amsterdam is so loosey-goosey. But I always remember, too, that it's more illegal for the cops to search you than it is for them to find cannabis on you. So I have a lot of questions about this, but I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this. And this is Jason Beck for the High at 9 News. What do y'all have to say about this?
Do you want to see the video?
Oh, yes. Let's play the videos. Let's play the videos before we go into comment.
You're under arrest. I'm the police.
Is that God?
I'm the deputy of the public prosecutor. We were, okay, but it's not a question here. I think it's
I'm not carrying drugs. Inside. Number one, when I came here, the back.
You can go inside.
No, I'm not going in there. I need a lawyer present.
You will get a lawyer.
No, I need a lawyer present now.
Okay, please.
Where am I going? I have no idea where
You
I'm
have
going.
to go to the police station.
What address is that?
It's 5 minutes away.
It's 5 minutes away.
What's the address of the police precinct?
When you will get your next show, we have to do it very fast, and we will help.
That's part of your description.
But you're
Will
talking
fall
about my
under
show?
aid if necessary.
What about it?
Yeah. We talk.
They will help to try to get you.
They'll help to try to get me to my show. How?
Very quickly.
To do it as soon as possible.
Should be having a different suitcase.
What am I doing? What am I doing? I never gave anyone. So I'm under arrest.
Yes.
But under arrest for what?
Stop filming now.
I'm under
Maybe it was
arrest for what?
DEA.
Do you know what happened when I came here?
They had the TCA loophole
What you said?
in Amsterdam.
No, I need a lawyer, because I don't know where I'm going.
You're going to jail, lady.
You can contact the lawyer, but you just step in the car, and we'll go as fast.
I'll tell you where she's not
And
going.
who's going in this vehicle?
Russia.
So please step.
He will go with you.
Right?
I thought it was interesting how all the news called it soft drugs. They should just call it cannabis.
I think that's what they call it in Amsterdam. I think that's their legal definition in Amsterdam, Jamie. Soft drugs. It's probably because it was in a pre-roll.
Do you think Nicki Minaj
Look
is
at
seen
that.
as a Karen in Amsterdam?
She could be.
The way she's handling this?
I told y'all they was going to try to store for about 4 to 5 hours because it's all about trying to make
in
me late for
Amsterdam,
my
they're
show.
allowed to search you if they have probable cause, and it's just not smart to have drugs in your bags when you travel internationally.
Yeah, but is weed really a drug, you guys?
Well, I look like a soccer mom, and I take drugs with me everywhere I go. I guess I'm putting everybody on notice.
Yep.
But if I'm Nicki Minaj, if I'm a celebrity, you know they're gonna make an example of you, especially if you've done something or said something offensive. You know,
Right.
it's possible. Offensive to whom? Whatever you're doing might be found offensive if you're out there in the public eye. So I think, celebrities need to be more careful than everybody else.
I mean,
Period.
what about this guy that she tried blaming it on, saying that it was his? She was like, "This isn't even my bag. It just looks like my bag."
It's part of the course. He's part of the security detail. It's always the security gets blamed for that stuff.
I understand that, but like you didn't hear him in the video saying, "Oh yeah, that's mine. It's not her.
Right.
She has nothing to do with this."
Yeah, that's why that guy's fired.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh my God!
Yeah, there we go, Adam. That sounds about right there. That sounds, because I don't even think Nicki Minaj smokes weed.
I don't know.
I don't think she smokes weed. I don't think
she
she
raps
smokes
about
weed.
it.
She does. I mean,
She rapped about it.
I mean, a lot of people rap about things they don't do.
Facts.
True.
It's facts.
I really don't. I really don't see Nicki Minaj as a weed smoker.
Oh, this is insanely embarrassing.
Oh man, Adam with all the sound bites today, bro. Loving this, man.
Hold on on that. Hold on.
I got nothing.
Now hold on.
Over in Amsterdam. I know they're getting rid of their cannabis cafes and stuff like that, but you can still get weed over there, can't you?
But well, my thing is this: is if they had all this luggage, how did they end up finding these pre-rolls? Like this is this, like, I mean, you can hide pre-rolls pretty easily.
Well, she said that somebody got it into her bag before they took off, and then they found it. They quarantined her, and they found it afterwards because they probably saw it in an X-ray machine, or they found it in a search underneath the plane. Like I kind of.
I'm not buying any of that.
Why let her go like the whole fucking distance and then arrest her? But I don't know.
They had it in for her. They didn't want her on the stage.
I think
they wanted to sabotage her. It's the deep state.
I think this definitely was a setup by the deep state for sure. I'm willing to.
Meg Thee Stallion.
Yeah,
Yep.
It was Meg Thee Stallion. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Rico. I think.
Did I lie? Did I fucking lie?
Yep, that's right. She lied. She lied. She said she didn't have drugs on her, and she did. She had some soft drugs on her, apparently. Well, we're going to keep this.
Yeah, she's come out about being sober. So I think it's probably.
Yeah, she's getting set up. She's getting set up. She's getting set up, and it's the people on her team.
Imagine if she were really getting set up. Well, no one's going to believe her, but she's been public about being sober and off of weed. I mean, she specifically was out about being a weed smoker for many years and rapped about it and all of that. And now she's been rapping about being sober and being off the weed and happy being sober instead of happy being high, stuff like that.
And we do want to send a big shout out to the C Word out there with his super chat. Big thank you so much, C Word. Says without consent, he says.
Yes.
Yeah.
They searched her bag without consent.
I don't think they need consent in Amsterdam.
They don't. You can refuse to be searched, but if they have probable cause, they can search you anyway and not be violating your rights.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's good to know, Jamie. Make sure you remember that next time you're out there.
Know the laws next time you're traveling over to Amsterdam.
Yeah, next time you're in
the scariest place to travel with drugs is into Spain, because in Spain they're not about it.
This is not a drug. This is not a drug muling show. We can't be telling everyone all this stuff, Jamie.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
What you do is you gotta say that for Patreon, Jamie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you want to sign up for Jamie's drug muling class, just send us a message on our website, and we'll make sure to send you the link to that.
The Silk Road Masterclass by Jamie Pearson.
That's right.
Muling 101.
But coming up next, that's right, it's Mr. Brandon Jones, joining us from the great state of Missouri, and today we got his audio issues all ironed out. That's right. He's the founder of Beat Green Distribution, and that's right. It is none other than Mr. Brandon Jones.
What up, everybody? Thanks so much. And last time we didn't get to talk about my chief story getting arrested, but that's what happens. My story this week comes out of Marijuana Moment. The DEA says THCA does not meet the definition of legal hemp as Congress weighs cannabinoid recriminalization in the Farm Bill. So, to meet the federal definition of hemp under 2018 Farm Bill, a cannabis product must contain less than 0.3% Delta-9 THC. Now, in a new letter clarifying that limit, a top Drug Enforcement Administration official says the threshold includes not only Delta-9 THC itself, but the related cannabinoid THCA, which is converted into Delta-9 THC when heated, a process known as decarboxylation. So, I don't know about all the other states, but there are a lot of states here in Missouri where they are selling THCA right on the shelves, and just, come into the store, smoke shop, buy a Bic lighter and buy an eighth of THCA flower. So this is something that's obviously going to be affected at the stores here in Missouri. I'll keep going here. In regards to THCA, Congress has directed that when determining whether a substance constitutes hemp, the Delta-9 THC concentration is to be tested using post-decarboxylation or other similarly reliable methods, says a letter sent earlier this month by Terrence Booz, chief of DEA's Drug and Chemical Evaluation Section. But we all know the decarboxylation process converts Delta-9 THCA to Delta-9 THC. Booz continued, thus, for the purposes of enforcing the hemp definition, the Delta-9 THC level must account for any Delta-9 THCA. So, once it's decarboxylated, we all know that this is how a good lawyer has been able to get around this loophole of the Farm Bill. So we don't know exactly what we're going, but a similar request from Pennington, a lawyer at the firm Porter Wright, was also the impetus for DEA's declaration in 2002 that marijuana seeds are considered legal hemp as long as they do not exceed federal THC limits. DEA's position on THCA comes in federal lawmakers reconsider how to address hemp and cannabinoids under a revised version of the Farm Bill, with a key House committee having recently adopted an amendment that would generally ban hemp-derived cannabinoids such as Delta-8 THC. So we all know, like I said, I'll just stop right here because we all know where the story is going, right? This is what we've all been talking about, the Farm Bill and how it's going to be adjusted and changed. Like I said, stores are happening here. I don't know all across the country. Are they happening out there in California? Can you go up to a smoke shop out there, guys, and just buy THCA flower?
Yeah.
Like, here you guys take.
I mean, I
don't know why anybody would here.
This is confusing to me. Why the DEA is now coming out and saying that THCA is not legal under the Farm Bill. I mean, I don't see how they have a real opinion on this.
I mean, it is confusing because they said it doesn't qualify as legal hemp, but they're also.
But it does.
Not real weed.
It does under their definition. It does, and so they're basically sliding their own definition, and they would have to redefine it in order for that to be the case.
Correct. But I mean, some out here, I mean, the THCA flower that I've smoked out here is just as fire as other, THC. Just, it all comes with the COA and depends on where it comes from and how it comes. Like, let's just be honest, right? Some of this THCA flower is fire.
Oh man, I'm gonna take your word for that, Brandon.
I mean, it's mostly just weed shipped from California.
I love exactly.
Makes sense.
Exactly.
Is it or is it? I mean, who knows?
It is.
But you can do all of it, right?
I know what it is.
Not all of it, homie.
I like my weed of age.
Mm-hmm. You like your weed of aged? Rico likes the THCV.
Oh my God, it's hilarious.
Give me some of that skinny weed, man.
Mm-hmm.
You give that Jason Beck shit.
Yeah, and shout out to the Seward.
Get some of Jason's and test it and see what it really is. Let's see if we got some THCA. Jason's best weed in the world got slid in.
No, shout out to the to the C word again because he came through with another super chat. Good looking out. Says please remind me to RSVP for SF Hash Week.
Yes.
So
all right. So. I know we don't have any of our legal experts on the show with us today. I mean, does this mean anything as of right now? Is this going to change anything as we have it right now?
I don't think it's going to change anything. I think this is just their opinion. And I didn't see anything in this article, Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong, where Miss Annie Milligram has signed off on this. So this very well could be just some DEA agent or some media person speaking on behalf of the DEA, but Annie Milligram's going to be like, that's not the case. That's not it. Just like she did saying that I didn't approve of the rescheduling.
Yeah, no, there's nothing in there that says they're owning this and saying that they agree and are going to enforce any changes in any sort of way. All they're saying is they're reevaluating.
Mm-hmm. I bet.
Well, I read an article, and I think it was Rod Kist is the name. He's a lawyer that I follow on Instagram or on LinkedIn, and he said that this letter, he came out and did a big article about it and said that the words in the letter are contradictory to the words in the law.
Yep.
Because the law says that the testing has to be done by dry weight, which means you can't automatically then just stick a decarboxylated post-harvest test, and that the definition of harvest where they're talking about the decarboxylation in the law has to do with the manufacturing of the product and not the harvesting of the product. So the guy writing the letter got it all wrong, and it'll get ripped to shreds legally in a matter of time. So I think it's just, much ado about nothing.
Yeah, I think this could definitely be some just posturing by the DEA, so then that way they can make some THCA bus. And then maybe make another example. Maybe they're getting ready to hire Letitia James.
Letitia James over there getting it done, getting paid, baby.
Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe she's gonna get a promotion into this Justice Department.
Pretty sure that dude David Tully will be an elector for the state of New York for the Republican Party.
And again, Trump, I know you're listening. You need to fund this guy's campaign. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. And on
only $15 million. You hide that on a Tuesday.
Exactly. And on that, we're gonna roll right into a commercial, and we're gonna be right back. The Control Tower from Highly Educated has perfected the dab. Utilizing the concept of thin film evaporation, you can waste none of it and taste all of it. The micro texture of the SE pillar increases nucleation at elevated temperatures. And with the tower propelling at 2,600 RPMs, it's certainly the most efficient dab experience to date. The Control Tower from Highly Educated. All right, stop whatever you're doing. Make sure that you hit that like button. I know you'll appreciate it, we'll appreciate it, and YouTube will appreciate it. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already. And all of the articles that we cover on today's show, you can read directly on our website at www.highat9news.com. I'm Jason Beck, and this is Smoky Vanilla. And if you want to feel as good as I look, then you need to get a stretch and smoke with Smoky Vanilla.
Hi, I'm Smoky Vanilla. I have my bachelor's degree in kinesiology, and I'm a sports massage therapist and stretch coach. I focus mostly on individuals that are in sport with chronic pain or injury. I love to intuitively create and customize a session based on the individual that I'm working with. We'll go over a few postural assessments, work together to create a wellness journey based on the health history, past injuries, or anything still affecting you today. And we'll get you back on your feet right away with less pain.
We're about to stretch, and then we're gonna smoke, because we're gonna get on our stretch and smoke. If you want to feel as good as I look, then you need to come on down and get a stretch and smoke with none other than Smoky Vanilla.
The toad.
Oh, and we're back, you guys.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all about the toad.
All about the toads. Y'all heard it here first.
Why do they call it the toad?
Hold on, Jamie. We
Yes.
gotta keep it rolling.
Okay, keep rolling.
Coming to the stage, one of the most respected leaders in cannabis for over a decade, the former head honcho of Bang Brands. And you know what? She's also the founder of New Holland Group, global consulting firm. Here to break us off with a little Monday love, the one and the only Jamie Pearson. Come on. What you got for us today, Jamie? Monday.
Thank you. I'm coming to you from sunny Billings, Montana. Happy to be here. Thank you so much. I'm talking about the news coming out of New York that Chris Alexander resigned from the Office of Cannabis Management under the current circumstances. He wrote a letter, and the surprising part about his resignation wasn't that he resigned. We knew that Hochul was going to have a head roll. The rollout was not great, but there's so much support for him and the way he ran the rollout. So it's interesting to see that the rollout wasn't as successful as it should have been, but the people in the industry are supporting Chris Alexander. And there's a lot of speculation that Hochul's basically just one by one getting rid of the Cuomo remnants and, putting people that are her people in. But nevertheless, he resigned. And the article that is coming from the city reporting to New Yorkers starts with the head of the state cannabis agency resigned on Friday following weeks of public turmoil between the agency and Governor Kathy Hochul's office. I've been reluctant to write this email due to the deep connection and commitment I have to this work and to this team. And while I plan to serve out the remainder of my term, I no longer have confidence in my ability to do my job and lead this team effectively under current circumstances, Chris Alexander wrote in an email obtained by the city. Hochul appointed Alexander to the position in September 2021 as the inaugural head of the Office of Cannabis Management. I'm grateful for Chris Alexander's work, first in developing and securing the passage of the Marijuana Regulation and Taxation Act, and then in launching the Office of Cannabis Management, Hochul said in a statement to the city. As OCM transitions into its next phase, we look forward to continuing the world of building the strongest, most equitable industry in the nation, the statement continued. The Office of Cannabis Management did not immediately respond to a request for comment. In January, Hochul called the rollout of the legal market a disaster and ordered a 30-day review of the agency by the Office of General Services. Earlier this month, she released a report following the review that criticized the inexperienced leadership of the Office of Cannabis Management and pointed to inefficiencies in the licensing process, as well as sparse service for applicants awaiting determination on their licenses. In a press conference, Hochul said it was time for the agency to take a new direction, noting that Alexander would step down at the end of his term in September As Hochul announced the news, Alexander was still presiding over a Cannabis Control Board meeting in Albany. During the public comment part of the meeting, some came to his defense as the news broke. Chris, I don't want to see you step down. Nobody wants you to step down, Matthew Robinson, a retail licensee, told the meeting attendees. We support you 100%, he said to Applause. 2 weeks later, Alexander resigned, saying it had been an honor of his lifetime to lead this group of the most dedicated public servants I've ever encountered. The Cannabis Regulators of Color Coalition, a national advocacy organization, rejected the Office of General Services report findings and criticized Hochul for not reinstating Alexander as the executive director of the agency. In a statement, the coalition called the report biased and inflammatory and said the decision not to reinstate Alexander poses a grave threat to the progress and integrity of equitable cannabis regulation in New York State. The Office of Cannabis Management wrote its own response to the Office of General Services report, criticizing the agency for not providing a copy of the report and pointed to a number of factual misstatements and significant omissions, according to a confidential draft of the report obtained by the city. The agency shared the response with legislators. The opposing reports put tensions between the governor's office and the Office of Cannabis Management in public view and were further underscored by Alexander's decision to resign more immediately than intended. It would be disingenuous for me not to acknowledge how difficult the last several months have been, Alexander wrote in his resignation. There's much left to do, but I have the utmost confidence in this team and in you all to stay focused on the mission and keep driving things forward. The irony of all of this is that Hochul essentially, she didn't fire him, he resigned, but I'm certain that he was asked to resign based on this report. But the irony of it all is that this Office of General Services that wrote the scathing report is actually the office that was responsible to man the licensing process. The Office of Cannabis Management created the framework, but it was the Office of General Services that were supposed to fund and roll all of this out. So the very criticism that they are providing for the Office of Cannabis Management falls squarely on their head. It was their failure that they're pointing to. And there's a lot of speculation that because Alexander did such a good job in making sure that there was racial equity in the law, that's part of why his head was on a platter. So I'm curious what you all think.
Man, Jamie, I mean, of course this was bound to happen, but this sounds like a total setup to me. Yep. in regards that she wanted the whole New York program to fail so she could blame it on all Cuomo's people. And then all of a sudden be like, oh, I'm coming in to save the day and make it all great. We're starting this Operation Padlock, and we're finding this guy won $15 million, and we're going to make New York great again.
No, I think he's definitely their scapegoat. And
I think
sad.
So, yeah.
It is. It's very sad. It was different the way that went down with Kat Packer here in LA. Like she was set up to fail from the jump.
Yeah, she was.
And it made it very, very easy for them to pass the buck with her because she ticked so many boxes there. I think they're, to a lesser extent, they're doing the same thing with this guy over in New York, too. Like, yeah, he was in charge. Was he given the resources necessary? Was he given the allies that he needed with the legislative experience to make sure this stuff got done? No. This was not his program. It was not his program to run. You hired somebody that's passionate about this without the technical warehouse. You got to give him the team necessary to get this shit done, and it didn't get done. And now that everybody's mad that shit didn't open up the way that it was projected to be, they're just placing all blame on him. That's dead wrong. Period.
Well, they called it out and they pointed it out, but it doesn't matter. He's gone, and part of the reason people are mad is he wrote the rules. He's been in the thick of it. He started this, like 10 years ago, and he's done actually the rollout. The failure of the rollout has nothing to do with what he was doing, so it's clearly a scapegoat.
You know what I think?
wanted to read.
You know what I think?
Oh, go ahead.
Jamie, I think Nicki Minaj should hire this guy to carry her bags because he was a perfect fall guy.
Yeah, she could say his joint.
Yeah.
But I wanted to bring. I read a post by Jeff Schultz. If you guys know him, he's a lawyer.
Shout out to Jeff Schultz. Yes, that's a buddy of mine. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's like the most in the know, I would say, lawyer, in the New York cannabis scene. And he wrote, "Thank you for your public service, Chris Alexander. Yours was never going to be an easy job, and it took a very brave person to tackle the role of overseeing the build-out of the multi-billion legal cannabis market for New York, a state that will eventually rival the biggest state markets, including a city with one of the highest consumption rates in the world. As of May 24th, New York has 130 dispensaries, largely minority and women-owned businesses, dozens of cultivators, and hundreds of brands on the shelves, and hundreds more licenses issued or to be issued shortly that represent a very diverse group of entrepreneurs." And, he was basically saying thank you. And so I think when somebody quits and everyone's like, yes, finally, then they're on the right track. But when when somebody quits and everybody in the know is like, oh man, something's probably political.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Follow the money.
That's right.
Yep. Follow the money.
Mm-hmm. You have any thoughts on this, Mathieu St. Germain? I mean, we've been cracking lots of jokes about New York.
Bro, I messed up and I got too high to care about fucking the cannabis news today.
Oh,
man, I want us all to just start having some thoughts and ask yourself, who am I?
Mm-hmm.
Then see who's talking and see who's listening and follow that back. That's where I'm at.
Oh,
I wish everybody in New York a great time.
Mathieu St. Germain tuning in.
All of the application of legalization and regulation to cannabis just allows us another lens to watch the fuckery, the incompetence of these people who basically just like those folks that were winning the past president elections back in high school. It's fucking pointless.
Mm-hmm.
I love you guys.
Mathieu St. Germain.
Oh, man.
We love you too.
I'd probably be fired, man. Keep that great backwood.
That's right. There we go. Great backwoods today. Great popsicle day. Great days.
Who are they going to replace? Who are they going to replace this guy with?
Another probably a fall woman this time.
Yeah, right. It's probably going to be.
This will be a fall girl.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We shall see.
I mean, you have any thoughts on this, Brandon? Before we move along.
Like I said, I just said it's going to be a yes person. I lived in New York and was a high school teacher in New York. That was pretty fun, getting cannabis from other teachers in New York. That was always hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But he was set up and he's just a fall guy. There was no way he could ever succeed if you don't give him the tools to succeed. And then you're going to fire him. And like I said, just like any other thing, who are you replacing this person with? Who's going to do a better job than he is doing currently? It doesn't make any sense.
I'll tell you who's going to do a better job. A yes man. I wonder why, Jamie, how come all of the operators out there, licensees out there, love this guy so much?
Because he's fighting for them. Because the way he wrote the rule, it gave them a shot. Because the other alternative, which was being publicly put out there, is that they were going to have the licenses go to the highest bidders.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then who would have won those licenses, and it would have been the big MSOs. And the way they wrote the rules out, it gave a head start to the smaller operators. It gave them a shot.
Well, I have a question. I have a question based on how the rollout is. Would you really call it a head start? The fact that they're open up, because they're not making crazy like buku bucks like what people would anticipate to think. So really, are they getting a head start, seeing as how they're getting all this financial debt?
100%, they're getting a head start. And the other piece of this is going back to what we talked about earlier, the Office of General Services, which was the office that the state of New York was supposed to give the money to get more of the applications sifted through and to move the process faster.
Mm-hmm.
They are the ones that failed. Had they fully funded and fully implemented the law, they could have had a gazillion of these stores open. There are literally hundreds of applicants waiting that you have to have your real estate secured before you could apply. So think about who is actually controlling this process is New York landlords. They are the ones that
they're
really
always the gatekeepers, aren't they?
Message.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so similar to what was going on in LA, where they bleed you out in rent. while you're waiting for this inefficient bureaucratic process to get you approved and moving forward. That really wasn't Chris Alexander's fault. He wrote the law in a way and enforced the law in a way that gave everybody a shot. And it was really the rest of the bureaucracy that failed. And so that's why he's got support, because those people that do have approved licenses and are waiting for the bureaucracy to let them get going, they know that he's the reason that they had the shot and that they're the reason they're not open yet.
Well,
facts.
Interesting. Lots of shots fired on there.
But you know what? That's cannabis across. I mean, that's what they do in California. I mean, think about all those people that got bled out with the social equity program.
Yep.
That's right.
It's the same concept.
Yep.
But, you know, we're in prohibition. I don't know. I think it's unrealistic to expect people to get it right. I just really
I don't think it's unrealistic for people to get it right. You have too many wackadoodles with too many ridiculous opinions going on.
I just think the level of job. I mean, Missouri's a great example.
Missouri had one of the best rollouts of them all.
They got it right, you know. And the question I would have is, why do you think Missouri's rollout was so good compared to everybody else, Brandon?
Well, it was, again, the limited market, and then they did actually, you know, not give it to everybody. But there is a lot more that's going on behind the scenes that people aren't aware of. Like, there's many people that think there's still 120 different license holders. That's not truly the case. There's shell companies, and there's only a handful of companies that own the majority of the licenses. It's just not known. So, yeah, they are going around monopolizing, taking up and getting more of the licenses owned by a smaller group here in Missouri. At the beginning, it was great, but now you're seeing basically coming in, putting up a dispensary next to another one, lowering your prices, and then buying out that other dispensary happening here in the state. They also tried to have a micro license, a second ecosystem that's come in, and not a single one of those facilities is open yet. So they've gotten their licenses over, you know, almost 8 months, 9 months, some of them, and still none of them have actually passed. Even though they've all gotten their license, there's not a single one that has brought a product to market yet. And I know people that have been told that they won the license and then told 6 months later they actually got it revoked and taken away. So it's not as perfect as it seems from the outside. There are a lot more of the MSOs coming in, taking over, and doing all of that. There is a much smaller craft grow here than we would like, but we do have a great caregiver and home grow system that is going on here in the state as well too. So I just think the culture for cannabis is great here in the state of Missouri. There are a lot of people that have been consuming cannabis for a long time. They're now not shy and not scared to consume it. And the stigma is changing here faster than I think in other states, which is awesome, even though it's right next to Kansas, which is crazy because you can literally cross a street in downtown Kansas City and go from being able to recreationally consume to be going to a 30-day minimum sentence for remnants. Not even a gram.
For remnants.
Remnants in a pipe.
That means a little shake,
like
little residue.
Like Virginia.
Yeah, residue in your pipe, and you're going to jail for 30 days in Kansas, where you can have, you know, I can have almost 6 pounds on me legally because of my high allotment. I can have, you know, that in Missouri, and then I cross the street and I'm in jail for 30 days.
Well, those lines
So my
are real.
parents will literally drive 1 block east of state line to pick up my son to babysit to make sure that I don't accidentally have any remnants in my car to watch my child.
So
that's how crazy Kansas City.
I guess all the auto car detailers are getting good money off of this.
Yes, and that's why pre-rolls and vape pens and all this stuff like there and the state, right next to the state line dispensaries are crazy. Because people come from Kansas, consume, and then drive back. Yeah. They don't want to have anything.
Well, Brandon, speaking of that, what do you think of those NFL players, the Chiefs that got popped last week?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like I said, they're legally allowed to have it in Kansas City. But, yeah, Johnson County is actually where I grew up. And, yeah, you're going. That's like you just got to know where you are and what you're doing. And if you want to be doing that, you got to be in Missouri. When I moved back from Arizona, I chose to move on the Missouri side because I did not want to deal with that. I know I consume cannabis, and I'm going to be legal. So, yeah, it's crazy in Kansas. It is still straight on prohibition, remnants. They don't care who you are, what you're doing. You're going in. And, yeah, those guys got booked and had to stay overnight and post bail and it was not a large amount of cannabis.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to keep this train rolling. We're going to roll right on into the Count himself, Mr. Mathieu St. Germain. He is the immortal one that has been walking the planet for thousands upon thousands of years.
So old.
That's right. So old, but looking so young. That's right. It is none other than Mr. Mathieu St. Germain.
Thanks, Brother Jason. Yes. Thanks, everybody, for bearing with me today. I have an interesting story from the South. Marijuana would remain illegal in Alabama despite federal change. Even more confusion. Standard. The federal government moves forward with a plan to reclassify marijuana as a less dangerous drug. Don't worry that it will cause further confusion about what's legal and not legal in states like Alabama. Nearly half of all states now allow recreational marijuana. Alabama is not one of them. Alabama legalized medical marijuana in 2021. Efforts to get the program up and running have been bogged down in court. We've introduced a lot of confusion into what the law is at this point, said Leah Nelson, research director at Alabama Appleseed. And I actually think in some ways it's possible that's going to result in even more confusion. Reasons of fairness and clarity, it's really important for Alabama to take a hard look at what purpose it serves to make the possession of marijuana a felony. Dude, I'm only a third into this article and I'm already confused. Federal policy change would not change any state law, said Tim Dothit, chief trial attorney at the Madison County District Attorney's Office. It'll still be illegal at the same levels it always was in Alabama under state law. Nelson said, we've seen confusion over the issue play out before as more states legalize medical marijuana, seeing people arrested in Alabama for possession of medical marijuana they got legally with a prescription from another state. Point of the case of Sean Woolsey, a Purple Heart decorated Iraq War veteran who brought his medical marijuana from Arizona to Alabama, not a great call, found himself in prison. After his case drew national scrutiny, Worsley was released on parole after spending over 8 months in prison for felony possession. Horrible. Read a headline that medical marijuana is now legal in Alabama, or because you got a prescription from another state and it was mailed here, or because you got a prescription in another state and you drove from there to here with your medicine. I know people have been charged with and convicted of felonies for all of those things. It's time to decriminalize marijuana, said Aidan Cotter, a senior policy counsel at the SPLC. By leaving it in the Controlled Substances Act, we're still leading to criminal enforcement where there are large racial disparities. In Alabama, this is quite pronounced, where black people are about 4 times as likely to be arrested than white people for marijuana offenses. Nelson said she doubts Alabama will move towards decriminalizing anytime soon. There's certainly a perennial ball that comes out to, that should be billed, that comes out to decriminalize marijuana, at least possession of a certain amount or under certain circumstances. But I think any momentum with that has really stalled out with this nonsense that we're seeing around bringing medical cannabis. Under Alabama law, marijuana possession can be enforced as either a misdemeanor or a felony, depending on whether police think the amount is for personal use or not. There is no listed amount under Alabama state law to determine what qualifies as personal use. Sale of any amount is punishable by up to 20 years in prison. Sale is to a minor, the felony can see a conviction of up to 99 years in prison. Certain cities have amnesty, kind of like Austin and Texas. But what we're just seeing here is a staunch right-wing prohibitionist state mired in evangelical Christianity, putting on a plant that their own God made and grew for us all to use in peace and harmony. Doesn't everybody just pile in here on this Memorial Day? This is St. Germain for the High at 9 News. What do you guys have to say about this one?
Man, I mean, this just sounds like more of the same coming out of Alabama, and they're just basically like, we don't care what you're going to do, federal government. If you move to Schedule 3, we're still going to prosecute weed just like we always have been prosecuting it.
It's disheartening.
I mean, at least they're honest with you. At least they're honest with you, and they're telling you what time it is, and they're not trying to be like, oh no, you know what? Oh, you got caught with this. You're still going to get charged anyway. You know, they're at least warning you.
20 years for sales.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some places that drive through, other ones that drive around.
Yeah, 20 years. That's nuts.
20 years, bro. That's a long time. That is a long time to do in an Alabama prison.
It's just a little tone deaf for where we are in the world right now in this country. And considering that they have a medical program, I don't understand. What are they trying to get accomplished? I don't understand what the point of doing this is.
Man, just make sure you're calling
Alabama and
THCA.
Mississippi are in competition for who is the deepest South.
We do what we want.
Oh. Oh, that was good, Brandon. That was good. Man, oh
Jason,
man.
you gonna read this last one?
Yeah, I have a last story. Adam, you gonna cue this up? Yeah, give him 1 second. He's going to cue this up. All right, here we go, you guys. Here is our happy Memorial Day story for you all. And thank you, Jamie, for finding this, because we're honoring our heroes. The fight for veterans' access to cannabis over the last 2 decades, the United States has witnessed the loss of thousands of brave service members in combat operations. Tragically, during the same period, an even greater number have succumbed to suicide. With hundreds of thousands of veterans facing this fatal outcome, it is a stark reality that highlights a critical need for better mental health support for our veterans and active duty service members. Veterans and active duty personnel often return home bearing both visible and invisible scars. They are frequently provided quick fixes through alcohol and prescription medications. However, these solutions often lead to other health complications or dependency rather than genuine healing. Contrastingly, cannabis and other natural products have shown significant benefits in managing symptoms related to physical and mental health conditions. Despite this, many who served our nation find these potentially life-saving treatments out of reach due to stringent legal barriers. As of now, not a single Veterans Affairs facility offers medical cannabis as a treatment option, and our societal priorities appear skewed. We readily allow our veterans to consume alcohol to the point of oblivion, yet we deny them access to medical cannabis, which could offer a safer, more effective path to recovery. This disconnect points to a need for a shift in how we manage veterans' health care and wellness. Thankfully, several organizations are stepping up to advocate for and support our veterans and active duty service members. These groups work tirelessly to bring about policy changes and to provide alternative health solutions that respect the sacrifices made by these individuals. As we approach this monumental day and weekend, let's do more than barbecue and celebrate. Let's take a moment to reflect on the true cost of freedom and consider the ongoing battles our service members face upon returning home. Whether it's a moment of prayer or a moment of silence, remember what the holiday truly represents and consider how we can all contribute to better supporting our heroes. For those interested in supporting these causes, consider reaching out to organizations like Veterans Cannabis Project and others who are making strides in policy reform and healthcare options for our military communities. That was nice, Jamie. That was real nice. Shout out to our veterans.
My dad's a veteran, and I know this is a hard day when you're remembering everyone who didn't make it.
100%. Shout out to all the veterans out there, because freedom isn't free. And the reality of it is that although cannabis is legal, we are freer with cannabis than any other country for the most part. And that is a lot to do with the service that people have served.
Jace, can I give a shout out real fast, please?
Of course. Please, Brandon.
So the Veterans Community Project, they're based here in Kansas City. They're all over the country now, but they build tiny homes for veterans when they come back and have an entire little village of these tiny homes. And one of my friends that started this here is now in charge of going around to different locations, but he also is integrating cannabis into their program. They can get their license and get their card here, but they actually have to take a class. So they have to take a Cannabis 101 class to understand what to look for, why this is going to help them, and why they should be using this as an alternative. They bring in canon nurses that talk about the actual thing and do classes there. And they've even built a doghouse out of hempcrete and done more stuff like that just to educate. They have a little, garden and stuff on top of there. But Vincent Morales is one of my great friends and is doing great things with the Veterans Community Project. And thanks you to your father, Jamie, and then all the veterans that have, not only given their lives, but their circles as well that have to deal with losing a loved one or taking over, the duties for when they're gone. So it's not just those people that serve, but it's all their circles, not just their family, but those that are, near and dear to them. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We all got somebody that got somebody.
Thank you, guys. I have to go. I've got a phone call I'm 5 minutes late for. Happy Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day, Jamie.
Great to see all of your faces. Hang in there, Matthew. You're having fun, and I love it. And we'll see you later. Bye, guys.
The fifth dimension over there.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you all.
It is a holiday.
Yes, thank you all for joining us for a special Memorial Day Monday episode of High at 9 News. You can catch us live on weekdays, 9 a.m. Pacific, high noon on the East Coast. Big shout out to the super fans, the C word. Love the wordplay there. Mm-hmm. The C word. Mm-hmm. Big love 2 times today. Please support that person's cause and RSVP for SF Hash Week. You too can become a super fan and have your comments posted live on the big screen and shouted out by the team. We are for sale. Make sure you guys chip in and do the same. Also, the live audience and online supporters catching us across all media platforms, tuning in each day to the headlines of chaos, also known as the developing, cottonmouth, bro, the developing cannabis industry as we know it.
Mm-hmm.
So our vetted correspondent team tuning in from all over, bringing us much needed variety of perspective and your respective opinions to the table. Our production team, Cloud Media Partners, Adam coming through on the holiday and feathering the shit out of his hair behind the scenes, man. Keeping our AV struggles to a minimum. We look good today. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Memorial Day.
As we head out on this special Memorial Day, we got to thank Cannabis Sativa L, the reason why we show up to read these stories every single day. It has been May 27, 2024, Memorial Day. Big shout out to all those fallen soldiers out there. And any last words for the people on this extended weekend? Jason.
Oh, man, just, make sure that you thank a vet. Remember what this day is all about, and freedom isn't free. And when you are sparking up, know that that is a freedom, whether you get caught or not.
Real.